We all wondered how humanity managed to find the most bizarre ways to make itself miserable. Well, today's topic takes the cake. We're diving headfirst into a tale so grim, it'll make you question reality itself. But don't worry, we'll add a dash of humor to keep things light. So, Black history, it's not all sunshine and rainbows, right? But guess what? There's a prize waiting for you at the end. The unsurpassable prize for tolerance, pain, and resilience. I mean, what other race on this wild planet could handle the epic sufferings thrown their way? Deep within the harrowing history of Black African slavery lies a chapter so gruesome it chills the soul: the era of metal masks. These nightmarish contraptions, forged in cruelty and born from the desire to subdue and dehumanize, reveal a horrifying dimension of the horrors faced by enslaved Africans. In this exploration, we'll unveil the hidden horrors behind the use of metal masks during the darkest days of Black African slavery. Let's find out what magic the black man had up his sleeve as we explore the brutal world of metal masks in this video. The iron muzzle. A symbol of subjugation, the iron muzzle, originally intended for controlling unruly animals, took on a grotesque new purpose during the era of slavery. Its transformation from a tool of animal safety to a symbol of human subjugation speaks volumes about the darkest aspects of human history, where the powerful sought to exert absolute control over the powerless. Origins of metal masks. The history of metal masks unfolds in the shadow of an unspeakable time, the era of Black African slavery. Slavery was not just about forced labor, it was a systematic dehumanization process designed to break the spirit of those held in bondage. Metal masks became an insidious instrument of this cruelty, deprivation, and starvation. One of the primary objectives of these metal masks was to strip enslaved Africans of their basic sustenance. These individuals toiled tirelessly, harvesting crops that included fruits and other agricultural goods. However, the metal masks, unforgiving and cold, effectively blocked their mouths, preventing them from enjoying the fruits of their labor. This intentional act of deprivation left them malnourished, physically weakened, and further reduced to mere property. Suppression of cultural identity. Enslaved Africans found solace and strength in their cultural practices, including spiritual songs that fueled their resilience. Slave owners, fearing the unity and rebellion these songs could spark, used metal masks to silence them. By stifling these spiritual chants, slave masters sought to erase the cultural identity and strength that these songs provided, leaving enslaved Africans stripped of their heritage. Eradication of native languages. Slave masters aimed to obliterate African dialects spoken by their captives, and metal masks were instrumental in this sinister mission. These masks prevented slaves from teaching their native languages to their children, severing the ties between African heritage and the enslaved community. This systematic destruction of local dialects aimed to further marginalize and disempower slaves, rendering them isolated and detached from their roots. Punishment by starvation. Metal masks served as tools of punishment by starvation. Enslaved Africans who dared to resist or showed disobedience faced this brutal penalty. The mask, clamped tightly over their mouths, prevented them from consuming food or water. In some instances, slave masters heartlessly force-feed a whole apple to the enslaved individuals before attaching the metal mask, rendering them unable to move their mouths or communicate. The excruciating pain inflicted left these individuals on the brink of insanity, reinforcing their sense of powerlessness. Stories of unyielding resilience. Now, let us cast a spotlight on some of the remarkable individuals who bore the weight of these metal masks. Kunta Kinte. The central figure in Roots, Kunta Kinte's narrative is a heart-wrenching saga of unimaginable suffering and unwavering determination. Hailing from Gambia, he was violently torn from his homeland and thrust into the brutal world of American slavery. His refusal to accept his new identity as mere property subjected him to brutal lashings and the cruel confinement of a metal mask. Yet his unwavering determination ultimately led to a triumphant escape from the clutches of slavery. Ota Benga. Ota Benga's experience stands as a haunting testament to the deeply entrenched racism and colonialism of the early 20th century. Born a Mbuti pygmy in the Congo, he was tragically thrust into the heart of the dehumanizing spectacle of the St. Louis World's Fair in 1904. There, he was displayed in a kege of their captive Afrikaans and indigenous peoples, as if he were nothing more than a curiosity or a wild animal. The metal mask he was made to wear symbolized the extent to which the humanity of those considered other was denied. His very identity was reduced to a grotesque caricature, reinforcing the prevailing narrative of racial superiority and inferiority that was used to justify colonialism and the exploitation of indigenous cultures. Ota Benga's presence in the human zoo ignited outrage among some individuals who recognized the inhumanity of the spectacle. Yet it also exposed the deeply rooted prejudices and dehumanizing attitudes that allowed such exhibitions to occur in the first place. His story reminds us that the fight against racism and colonialism is an ongoing struggle, one that requires vigilance, empathy, and a commitment to dismantling the systems that perpetuate these injustices. While Ota Benga's life ultimately ended in tragedy, his story serves as a poignant reminder of the need for social and cultural change. It calls on us to challenge the dehumanization of individuals based on their race, ethnicity, or cultural background, and to work towards a world where every person is afforded dignity, respect, and the right to live free from the shackles of discrimination and oppression. William Thomas. Subjected to unthinkable cruelty, William Thomas was made to wear a mask that obscured his entire face, rendering him unable to speak or eat. His torment was ceaseless, and the precise details of his ultimate fate remain a somber mystery. Gabriel Procer. A visionary planning a rebellion against slaveholders, Procer's capture and subsequent torture included the grim imposition of a metal mask. His tale serves as a stark reminder of the dire consequences endured by those who dared to challenge the institution of slavery. Frederick Douglas. Journey from Bondage to Freedom is a testament to the transformative power of education and the unwavering human spirit. Born into the brutal system of slavery in Talbot County, Maryland, in 1818, Douglas's early years were marked by the harsh realities of slave life. However, his innate curiosity and determination drove him to secretly learn the forbidden arts of reading and writing. The pursuit of knowledge was not merely an intellectual endeavor for Douglas, it was an act of resistance. The ability to read and write empowered him to articulate the injustices he witnessed and experienced, and it provided him with a tool to challenge the dehumanizing institution of slavery. Yet this pursuit came at a great cost. As word of Douglas's literacy spread, his master became increasingly threatened by his intellectual independence. In response, Douglas was subjected to the harrowing punishment of the metal mask. This grotesque device, affixed to his face, silenced his voice, deprived him of nourishment, and subjected him to immense physical and psychological suffering. Despite the torment he endured, Frederick Douglass's spirit remained unbroken. His determination to be a free man, to speak out against injustice, and to advocate for the rights of all people, regardless of their race, fueled his indomitable resolve. In 1838, Douglas seized a moment of opportunity and executed a daring escape from slavery, finding refuge in the North. What followed was a life dedicated to the fight for equality and justice. Frederick Douglass became a prominent abolitionist, author and speaker, using his powerful words and experiences to expose the horrors of slavery and the urgent need for social change. His autobiography, Narrative of the Life of Frederick Douglass, an American Slave, became a critical tool in the fight against slavery. Douglass's legacy endures not only through his written words but also through his actions and advocacy. His commitment to the principles of freedom, equality, and justice continue to inspire generations of activists, reminding us all of the enduring power of the human spirit in the face of seemingly insurmountable challenges. His life is a testament to the potential for transformation, even in the darkest of circumstances, and serves as a beacon of hope for those who strive for a more just and equitable world. The triumph of the human spirit. These narratives transcend mere historical accounts. They embody the extraordinary resilience of the human spirit in the face of unfathomable suffering. They compel us to strive for a world that is equitable and compassionate, where every individual is treated with the dignity and respect they deserve. These stories remind us that, Even amidst the darkest of times, the human spirit can endure and ultimately triumph, a testament to which we can only respond with the deepest admiration and profound reverence. Thank you for embarking on this comprehensive journey of discovery and reflection. As we wrap up this heart-wrenching journey through history, one thing is crystal clear: the human capacity for cruelty knows no bounds. Those metal masks, they make Hannibal Lecter look like a teddy bear. But let's not forget, it's vital to learn from our past and strive for a world where dignity and respect aren't optional. So if you've got thoughts, spill the beans in the comments. Oh, and don't forget to hit that like button. It's your ticket to the unsurpassable prize of our eternal gratitude. Share this with your tribe and subscribe to keep exploring with us. Until next time, remember, history may be dark, but humor can be our guiding light. Stay curious, stay compassionate, and we'll catch you in the next video.